Steve Bannon is going to prison. But I tell you that not just so that we can all throw a party, but also because I want to point out how everything about this highlights how much MAGA people hate America and everything we stand for, because that's ultimately what this is all about. Steve Bannon is guilty of one kind of crime that Trump and his whole crowd have also committed. But to start, here's what just happened.
Just a few minutes ago, a federal judge ordered former Trump advisor Steve Bannon to report to prison by July 1st to serve his 4-month prison sentence. Bannon was hoping to stay out of prison as he appealed his conviction.
It seemed like a big surprise to Steve Bannon and his attorneys that federal judge Carl Nichols said that Steve Bannon will have to begin serving his sentence.
What is it with these Trump people that they're always shocked to discover that laws are real things, courts are real things, and there are police officers with firearms? You know, those inanimate objects that right-wingers somehow both seem to want to pray to and cuddle with, and the police officers with firearms will enforce the rulings of the courts based on the laws.
The judge said, look, the appeals court wholeheartedly disagreed with the legal arguments that Bannon and his team were making. He said he was not going to put off this sentence any longer, and he said it's time for Steve Bannon to report to prison. And there was a heated moment at the end of this hearing where Steve Bannon's attorney was sort of trying to urge the judge to reconsider. The judge was not very pleased with how that exchange was going, how he was being talked to.
Again, even the corrupt lawyers for the corrupt MAGA people seem absolutely shocked that what judges have to say actually applies to them. It's like they think if they only strenuously object, the judge will say, oh.
The objection's overruled, counsel.
Your Honor, the defense strenuously objects.
Strenuously object? Is that how it works? Objection, overruled. Oh, no. No, I strenuously object. Oh, wow. Strenuously object, and I should take some time to reconsider.
And of course, Bannon went to the old standby of the guilty as hell MAGA person, calling himself an angelic martyr of political persecution.
Surprisingly, Bannon still gave off a defiant air as he left the courthouse today. Take a listen to what he said.
This is about one thing. This is about shutting down the MAGA movement, shutting down grassroots conservatives, shutting down President Trump.
He also added one particularly Simpsons-esque parting shot.
There's nothing that can shut me up and nothing that will shut me up.
You have the right to remain silent.
I choose to waive that right.
And kudos, by the way, to the heckler who gave Steve Bannon the appropriate send-off.
Lock him up! Lock them up! You're a coup plotter! It's a failed coup!
But here's the point. Why is Bannon going to prison?
Former top advisor was convicted of contempt of Congress in 2022, and his sentence is 4 months in prison, which now, 2 years later, he will begin actually serving.
It's because he was convicted of contempt of Congress for refusing to work with the January 6th committee. In other words, he allegedly helped Donald Trump plan and execute an insurrection because he thought American elections don't apply to him or to Trump. They just do what they want.
I do what I want.
And then he tried to stonewall the congressional investigation because he thought Congress and its authority doesn't apply to him.
I do what I want.
Then during his trial for contempt of Congress, he delivered a speech promising to go medieval on the prosecutors who brought the indictment against him.
I believe we're going to have to get medieval on your buttocks.
Because he doesn't think courts or prosecutors have any authority over him. What are the core ideas of the United States of America? We grant power through elections. We're all subject to the same set of laws, and no one's above them. The laws are written by our elected representatives, administered by an independent judiciary, and executed by the president. Donald Trump and his right-hand man, Steve Bannon, are felons, but so are all the other MAGA leaders.
Donald Trump is now a felon. His campaign chairman was a felon. So is his deputy campaign manager, his personal lawyer, his chief strategist, his national security advisor, his trade advisor, his foreign policy advisor, his campaign fixer, and his company CFO. They're all felons. It's a cabal of convicts.
That's the hallmark of the MAGA mind virus. They have contempt for America, and if there's something that America stands for, then they're against it.
Maybe more importantly, the promise/threat that by people like Steve Bannon just a couple of days ago on his podcast or radio show, that if Donald Trump is elected again, they will seek retribution with the courts and with the DOJ.
Right. Steve Bannon has been very outspoken about this. He's been candid about this. He has said Republican prosecutors at this point should be making a name for themselves.
And that is ultimately why Steve Bannon is going to prison.